This is a quick 30-minute fiery yoga practice to use during your ovulatory phase. It can also be used during your follicular phase. When you do have some deep reserves of energy, our baseline metabolism is slower, and you have hormone levels on the rise, which give you a bit more power, a bit more ability to put exertion into your workouts without risking depletion. This one is designed for those who are short on time, so we jump right in, and all you will need is a mat for this practice. I have offered some modifications throughout, but please make this practice your own, taking any modifications that feel appropriate for your body. And let's get started with today's movement practice. This is a quick, fiery yoga practice for when you are short on time. So we are going to jump in right away. Make sure you have your mat set up and a space cleared out, and let's begin. We will start at the top of our mat. I'll face you first just to connect here at the beginning of our practice. You can let your feet be about hips width distance apart, and we'll use just some simple movement to connect body with breath. So we inhale, reach the arms overhead, nice and tall, stretch toes to fingertips. And as you exhale, long spine, gentle bend in the knees, fold over your legs. Inhale, halfway lift your spine, extend from the crown to the sitting bones. And as you exhale, fold once again. Weight shifts forward into the ball mounds of the feet. Inhale, rise, circle your arms out and overhead, gaze up. Right back down, exhale, flow to the earth. Fold over your legs, release your head and neck. Inhale, lift the spine halfway, shift the weight into the ball mounds of your feet. Exhale, fold over your legs. Inhale, rise, root down through your legs to lift up all the way through the fingertips. Last round like this, exhaling, float down, fold over your legs. Just a half salutation here. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, fold to create that connection to the breath. Inhale, rise, stretch the arms overhead. And as you exhale this time, let your hands rest down by your sides. I'll turn to face the top of my mat now. You can join me there. Let your big toes touch. Hug energy through the legs to the midline. And as you inhale, chair pose. Sink the hips low, reach the arms nice and tall. Think knitting the low ribs to the hip points as you expand across the chest. As you do that, can you sink your hip creases a bit lower? Big breath in. And exhale, fold over your legs. Keep any bend there that feels good. Inhale, lift halfway, stretch your spine. And as you exhale, step your right foot back behind you into a lunge. Nice wide lunge here, front knee directly over the ankle. Let your back knee touch down to the earth. Inhale, reach both arms up. As you exhale, take your hands to your low spine, fingers up or down. Press the sacrum down to the earth, and then move your left shin forward as you extend and lift the spine. So use your hands to help you square the hips, to help you anchor the sitting bones down to the ground. Big breath in. Slow breath out. As you inhale, reach both arms overhead. And exhale, hands touch down to the earth. Lift your back knee up. Step back into plank pose, our first vinyasa of the day. Take an inhale, shift your weight forward. Keep the elbows hugging into your sides. Heart is buoyant as you lower all the way to the belly. The lower body is anchored to the mat, hips to tops of the feet. Curl your spine up. Inhale, cobra. Keep the elbows hugging back. Lift the heart and spine. Exhale, fold back down. Tuck your toes, lift your knees. Inhale, plank, either knees up or knees down. And exhale, downward facing dog. We'll enjoy just a breath or two here in downward dog, knowing that our intention is just to keep moving through this practice. Then begin to anchor your left foot to the mat. Inhale, stretch your right leg high. 3 rounds of core plank. Exhale, hug your knee to chest, round the spine, press through the hands. Activate the belly. Inhale, reach up, extend in both directions. Exhale, coil to the belly. Last time, inhale. And exhale. Pause here, create space. Step your right foot through between your hands. The back knee touches down. Nice wide lunge here. Inhale, stretch your arms overhead. And on the exhale, take your hands to your low back. Same thing on this side now. So we anchor the sitting bones, the sacrum down to the mat. As you inhale, begin to shift the right shin forward. Keep that left shin pressing down and broaden across the chest as you extend the spine up and back. So here there's still integration in the belly. You're still supporting the pelvis here. Last big breath. And exhale. Inhale, the arms reach overhead. And as you exhale, hands touch down, tuck your back toe. Lift your knee, step forward, left foot to right, fold. Inhale, lift halfway. And exhale, fold. Inhale, chair pose. Once again, sit low, reach your arms high. And this time we'll add a bit of fire. Start to lift the heels high up off the mat. Hug energy of the legs to the midline. So squeeze from the big toe mounds to the ankles, shins, knees. And then slowly lower the hips to the heels. You can keep the arms reaching up if that feels good. Otherwise, hands come down to support. From here, we'll sit back into our seat, coming into boat pose. So you start to bring your shins to parallel to the earth, and then maybe extend the legs all the way out. From here, we'll take the hands down, and we're going to pulse in boat. So we lower down, and then lift up. You can reach the arms out and overhead, and then lift up, or you can keep the hands down by your sides, creating a bit of heat here, a bit of core activation. The key is to keep your heart elevated and the collarbones broadening apart without rounding in the upper back. Last one. Come up, place your feet down on the mat. So here we're going to shift the sitting bones closer to the heels. You can use your fingertips for support or begin to rise to chair. Sit nice and low as you lift the hips up. Chair pose. Big breath in. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, this time step your left foot back. Nice wide lunge. Keep the back knee elevated this time. Find the 4 movements of lunge here. So we have the front shin moving forward, the back heel pressing away, the front hip crease dialing down, the back thigh lifting up. So we have this circuit of energy keeping the legs strong here. Left hand stays planted on the mat. Keep your hips square so they're your anchor here. Begin to revolve. Open the right arm out to the side and up. Notice if your hips went along for the ride, can you square the hips, hug the inner thighs energetically to the midline. Keep the belly rotating here. Wrap your left low ribs underneath you. Big breath in. Slow breath out. From here, right hand touches down. Step back into plank. Inhale. Your vinyasa here as you exhale, lower either all the way to the belly or hover in chaturanga. You can roll over the toes, come into upward dog or cobra pose here. If you're in upward dog, the lower body is off the mat. So hips to the tops of the feet elevated, stretching the spine open. Exhale, downward facing dog. Big breath in. Slow breath out. Inhale, left leg rises. 3 rounds of core plank here. Exhale, coil through the belly, hug in. Inhale, reach. Exhale, curl. Last one. Exhale, curl in. Press through the hands, create space here, lift up, and step your left foot through between your hands. Keep your back knee lifting. Find those 4 movements, 4 key actions of lunge. So pausing for a moment till you feel that strong, stable base where your fingertips are light. You can lift them off the mat. Right hand stays planted, hips are anchored. Begin to revolve. Left arm spins open in a twist. So here, sometimes it can help to really dial your left hip crease down and square so that you can rotate and move the twist into the upper back. Big breath in. Let it out. Left hand slowly touches down. Big breath here. And as you exhale, step your right foot to meet your left in a fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Let your big toes touch if they aren't already. Exhale, fold deeply. Inhale, chair pose. And as you exhale, sit low, bring your hands to your heart. Big inhale breath. We're taking a twist now, prayer twist. So you sink the hips back and down, weight is in the heels, and then use the strength of your belly to twist to the right. So without hooking the elbow at first, square the knees, square the hips, continue twisting until you find your maximum range of motion. Once you're there, begin to connect left elbow to the outside of right thigh. From there, take your right fingertips, your right hand, press into the left hand to leverage a deeper twist. All the while, continue to square your hips, squeeze the legs together. Create that energy moving inward, generate heat. And then maybe you gaze over the right shoulder, stack the shoulders on top of each other. Last big breath. Slowly come through chair, inhale. You'll start to feel the legs. This is the fiery part of the practice. Exhale, hands to center once again. Press your palms, inhale. And as you exhale, twist. So squaring the hips, hugging the legs to the center, revolving the right low ribs underneath you. Then begin to connect. Right elbow now to outside of left knee, left thigh. Press your left hand into right to create that deep spinal twist here. Stacking shoulders, maybe gazing over the left shoulder, twisting into the cervical spine, the neck. Last big breath here. And slowly come out, inhale, chair. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift halfway. And exhale, fold. Once again, chair pose, inhale. Just giving the legs a rest there. And then as you slowly rise, take your right knee with you, coming into standing crane. On the exhale, right leg and arms sweep back for airplane. Square the hips, level the pelvis. Find strength and balance here. As slowly as you can, bend into the left knee. Touch the right toes down to the mat. Inhale, crescent lunge. So you can have a gentle bend in the back knee if that supports your hip flexors, your sacroiliac joints. So if you feel any tension in the low back here, you can shorten the stance, create a bit of a bend in the back knee. Otherwise, you're finding those 4 movements of lunge. From here, take your hands behind you, interlace your fingers, stretch the arms straight and strong. Reach the knuckles toward the earth, find some space across the chest. Big breath in, and slow breath out. From here, begin to stretch the crown of your head forward. Find strength in that back leg, so really press through the back heel. And let the chest hover in humble warrior in the crescent lunge position here. And then slowly release the clasp of your hands and begin to reach your arms out in front. We're going to swim the arms here just for a few breaths. So bend the elbows, take them out to the sides, exhale. Inhale, extend in both directions, fingertips to right heel. Exhale, swim. Last one like this, inhale. And as you exhale, elbows reach back to the sides. This time, extend your arms all the way out and release the hands to the mat. Step your left foot back into plank. Your choice for a vinyasa here, or you can meet us in downward dog. Hover in chaturanga. Roll over the toes, stretch up through the spine and upward dog. Really activate the legs, stretching them back. Exhale, downward facing dog. Straight into our flow here. Inhale, right leg lifts. 3 rounds of core plank. Exhale. Inhale, reach. And exhale. Last one, inhale. And exhale. Pause, create space. Step your right foot through between your hands. Slowly rise and crescent lunge now on the second side. Find your lunge here. So whatever shape you need to take in the back leg to support your hips and your low spine. Let your hands interlace at your low back. Find yoga mudra. So that's the shape that we create with the hands. Stretch the arms straight and strong. Notice if the low ribs are flaring, can you magnetize them to the hip points? And then begin to lift and stretch up through the chest. In breath here. And as you exhale, fold over that front leg. So reach from the crown through your back heel. Create stability in the legs here. And then we'll release the arms overhead. Stretch from fingertips to your left heel as long as you can get. Exhale, elbows to the sides, swim it. Inhale, reach. And as you exhale, feel that strength in the upper back. Last one here. As you reach, pause here, and then send the elbows back and straighten your arms. So leaning lunge. Begin to shift the weight now forward into your right foot. Let that left leg float, airplane. Take the left knee with you as you rise up, arms overhead. And then as you exhale, sit down into your chair. Big toes, inner knees touching. Really lift up through the spine here. Take a deep breath. And as you exhale, cross your right leg over left. You have the option to kickstand your right toes if that feels right, or you can hook the right toes behind your left calf. Right arm wraps under left. So we wrap at the upper arms, the elbows, forearms, wrists, palms press in for eagle pose. Let the shoulders float directly over the hips. Notice if you have a tendency to lean forward, can you create that strong axis in the spine? If this is too much in the arms, you can press the backs of the hands together. You can even take opposite shoulders. Few breaths here, finding that kickstand if you need it, sink a bit lower. And then slowly release, come back into your chair. To the second side now, crossing left leg over right. Kickstands there if you need it. Wrap left arm under right. Press the palms. Find your balance here. A point to gaze upon to create strength and focus through the gaze. And then can you mirror the action in the legs with the arms? So you're hugging the limbs to the center, upper and lower limbs, drawing energy in. From here, release. Take your left knee with you as you rise. Airplane pose, send your left leg, arms back. Square the hips, level the pelvis. Find your balance. As slowly as you can, lower down into your lunge. Sweep the arms up, crescent. So again, finding that shape that works in your back leg here. Let your arms reach out straight in front of you to T. Magnetize the palms to each other so you create that energy in the arms here, strong arms. And then begin to open your right arm out to the side for an upright twist. Notice the low ribs. Can you draw them to the hip points and really revolve so your upper body can move independent of the lower body here. Big breath in. As you exhale, bring your hands to your heart. Continue coiling through the belly, wrapping around the spine. Send your left elbow to the outside of right thigh. Can you stay low in your lunge? Can you wrap the left low ribs? Press your right palm into left. Find the same action you had in prayer twist. This time an added challenge with the legs. Last big breath. And slowly unravel. Let the arms reach out to T. This time, take your right hand to the outside of left thigh. Stretch the left arm overhead, up and back. And then coming out nice and slow. Both arms reach up in crescent. Exhale, leaning lunge. Stretch your arms back and float them down to the ground. Step into plank, inhale. And exhale, lower down. Find your flow here, cobra or upward dog. And downward dog. As you're ready, inhale, left leg reaches up and back. 3 rounds of core plank. Exhale. Inhale, reach up, stretch in both directions. Exhale. Keep the arms and the fingers strong here. So pressing down to avoid collapse in the elbow. Exhale. Step your left foot through between your hands. Rise, float up into crescent. Find your stable lunge here, and then reach the arms out in front. Press the palms to activate the arms. As you inhale, that left arm opens nice and wide. Upright twist. Can you come deeper into your lunge? Find your deepest twist here. Then as you exhale, hands connect at the heart. Press the palms into each other and slowly begin to stretch the spine forward. Use that length to wrap the right low ribs underneath you. Elbow to the outside of left knee. Press your left hand into right and revolve. Maybe the gaze over the left shoulder here. Can you hug the energy of the inner thighs to the midline? That will help you get deeper into the twist. Last big breath here. And slowly come back up. Left hand to the outside of right thigh. Right arm stretches up and back. Revolved reverse warrior here. And slowly unravel, reach the arms up. As you exhale, stretch back, leaning lunge. Shift the weight into your left foot. Give the weight from right to left, airplane. Take the right knee with you as you rise, inhale. And exhale, chair. Our last bit of fiery challenge here is you inhale, lift onto the toes, heels are high. And then slowly come down into ball pose. So you lower hips to heels here, curl into a little ball. We'll have one opportunity here to get airborne, to lift off in crow pose. So let your knees come wide, but the heels stay touching. So create that circuit of energy in the legs. Coil through the belly. So think sitting bones to heels. And then can you broaden the back of the heart without collapsing, so without rounding. It's a key action that comes from strength rather than tightness in the upper back. So we take the palms out in front, begin to lift the heels slightly, so not lifting too high, that will throw us off balance, but instead just enough to get your knees to the upper arms or the armpits or even kind of the middle of the backs of the arms. Send your gaze out in front of you where you want to go, and then begin to play. Shift your weight forward. Maybe lift one heel to the sitting bone, and then the other heel to the sitting bone, really coiling through the belly, pressing through the hands. And then give it a try. Send your gaze out in front. Let your heart be buoyant. Find that core activation, and then lift both heels to sitting bones. Really wrap the energy. So create that circuit. So you're not leaking energy anywhere. It's all working for you here. Crow pose or bakasana. And slowly come down. Shake out your wrists. And then we'll come down to a seat. We're through the fiery portion of our practice now. Let your right leg extend and your left leg extend. Shake them out. Step your right foot to the outside of your left knee, seated twist here. Shift the sitting bones forward so that your pelvis is slightly tilting forward. Imagine a bowl that you're trying to tip and pour out. Reach your left arm high. As you exhale, rotate to the right. You can take elbow to the outside and bring your hand to heart, or you can wrap the thigh and the knee with your left arm. Find the option, the twist that feels good in your spine. Soften the shoulders, big breath. Create length, and then as you exhale, rotate. Gaze over the right shoulder, press the left foot away from you. And slowly release the twist. Extend the right leg long. Cross left foot over right. Left fingertips behind you. Inhale, right arm reaches. As you exhale, once again, your twist here. Either elbow to the knee or wrapping the arm around the thigh, creating that embrace. Lift up through the spine, inhale. And exhale, rotate deeper. Connect with your heart here. Notice if your heart rate is returning to normal. That was a fiery practice that might have generated some heat, some sweat. Release the legs here. In your own way, begin to lower down to the mat. We'll have one final posture here in happy baby to release the hips a bit. So hug your knees into chest. Then take the inner or the outer edges of your feet. Knees come out wide. the soles of the feet, the ankles directly over the knees, and then use your hands to draw the soles of the feet down towards the earth. Imagine like you're moving the tops of your thighs toward the mat on either side of your rib cage. And the shoulders stay nice and relaxed here. To deepen the sensation, move your pubic bone toward the earth, so tilt the pelvis forward. Last big breath here. And slowly let that go. Let your feet come down to the earth. Find your final resting posture here. We'll only be here for a minute or two. We know that you are short on time today. You can let your knees knock in, feet out, or feet in, knees out. Maybe your legs are extended. Just give yourself these last few moments to calm the mind, to sort of expand the distance between your thoughts, just creating a new perspective, a new way to observe. Letting your mind stay focused, stay present by tuning in to sensations in the body. So how does your body feel? Where do you feel the effort from the practice? Where do you feel the ease, the softening? Where do you feel your breath flowing in and out? Are your lungs expanding deeply? Really just nourishing your nervous system here, allowing the heart rate to slow so that you can sort of bathe yourself in that calm before you move into the rest of your day. It is a calm alertness where you are at once relaxed and awake. And then only when you're ready, begin to move your body once again, maybe hugging the knees into the chest, gently rocking side to side. And we'll journey back up to a seat to close our practice together. I hope you'll take a moment here to celebrate yourself for carving out this time for your practice today, for letting your body be moved, for improving circulation and creating some movement, some energy inside your body. And I want to thank you for joining me and for being a part of this collective of women who move by the moon.